I was inside the room when your money was taken. Not in a bank, not by thieves. I mean your real money. The one tied to your destiny, your progress, your open doors. I was there when you signed the decision against your life. My name is Ifunanya. I am from Enugu State in Nigeria. For 17 years, I served inside the kingdom of darkness. I was not an ordinary witch. I handled financial affliction. I worked in what we called spiritual economic control. Today I speak because I cannot carry the guilt anymore. Many of you think when money disappears, your business fails. When sudden loss happens, it is just bad luck. It is not always bad luck. Sometimes it is an operation, and I was part of it. I did not join by choice. My grandmother initiated me when I was 12 years old in our village. That night, they told me my spirit must separate from my body. I remember the cold air. I remember seeing my own body lying on the floor. I remember hearing voices like market noise inside my head. That was the night they gave me my assignment. We did not fly on brooms. We did not wear black clothes like movies. We looked like normal people. Traders, students, mothers, and even church workers. But at night, we gathered. We met in places that looked like large halls, but were not built by human hands. Inside that place were records, files of people's destinies, finances, marriages, health, and future. Every person had an account. Yes, an account. And some of us were assigned to reduce them. My department focused on money. We could block contracts, scatter opportunities, transfer favor, and drain prosperity from a person's life without touching their physical wallet. We called it spiritual debit. Let me tell you what we do to real people. There was once a man who was hardworking, spare parts dealer in Alaba market. He was rising fast, too fast. His destiny showed a wealth that would influence many lives. So a complaint was raised against him in our gathering. The accusation was simple. He must not rise beyond his family level. I was assigned to him. We entered his dream one night. We made him sign documents he did not understand. From that day, strange things began to happen. His goods started spoiling mysteriously. Money would enter his account and disappear through unexpected expenses. He invested in businesses that collapsed suddenly. People called it misfortune, but I know we transferred his financial favor to another man who did nothing. I remember watching him cry beside his shop one evening. That memory still burns my heart. There was also a woman. Her name was Bose, and she's from Ibadan. She sold food and struggled to train her children. Her destiny showed breakthrough through a catering contract with a big company. But her husband's family brought her name to our altar because they believed she would become too powerful. We attacked her income. Every time she saved money, emergency sickness would come. Each time she planned progress, confusion would enter her home. We planted constant debts in her life. We made helpers forget her. We closed doors before she even knocked. She fasted. She prayed, but at that time, her spiritual covering was weak, so our assets remained. I watched her sell her jewelry just to survive. I did that. There was also a young man. His own case was painful. His father made a covenant for wealth, and the price was the financial stagnation of his first son. That first son was him. Whenever money came to him, scholarship, support, opportunity, we diverted it. His project always failed at that final stage. He thought he was unlucky. He did not know he was a payment. You see, many financial problems are negotiated in places you cannot see. Some families submitted names. Some jealousy friends open doors. Some personal sin creates legal assets. And people like me carried out execution. I remember the day everything changed. We were assigned to a woman in Port Harcourt. She owned a small fashion business. We tried to shut her shop, drain her income, and make her homeless. But something strange happened. Each time we approached her in the spirit, fire would surround her. Not physical fire, authority, and full of power. A presence that made us weak. Her money could not be touched. Her opportunities increased instead of decreasing. That was the first time I became afraid. I began to question the kingdom I serve. But before I left, I committed terrible acts. I caused promotion to be cancelled. I delayed marriages because financial struggle brings tension. I scattered businesses. I made rich men suddenly became poor. I stole people's destinies. And every operation was celebrated. And we call it harvest. But today, I call it wickedness. You may be listening to me now wondering why your life feels blocked. Why money enters and vanishes. Why you work harder than others but see no results. Why helpers promise and disappear. Why sudden loss follows every progress. I am telling you, sometimes it is not physical. Sometimes your money was taken spiritually. I know because I took it. The night I left the kingdom of darkness was the night they ordered me to terminate a child's future because of his father's prosperity. That was when my heart broke. That was when I ran. That was when I encountered a power greater than everything I had ever known. But what happened that night? How they tried to kill me for living, and the secret of how spiritual financial accounts truly operate. I will reveal that next. I remember running through the streets of Enugu, my legs moving faster than my mind could process. The air was thick with smoke, not from fire, but from the presence of evil pursuing me. I could feel them behind me, the ones I once called sisters and brothers, the ones who laughed when someone's business collapsed, or when a family we attacked cried silently in their homes. I made it to a small church on the outskirts of the city. I didn't know God yet. I didn't know He existed, but I knew I was desperate. I fell to my knees, hiding under the shadows of the building. I whispered, "If you are real, I want you to save me." That night, everything changed. I felt hands lifting me, not physically, but spiritually. The darkness that had been attached to me for years began to loosen. And for the first time, I saw them. The people whose money I had stolen, whose lives I had destroyed, whose hope I had crushed. Faces of Chinedu, Bose, and the other guy, Andamaka, flashed before my eyes. I could hear the pain like a drum in my chest, pounding against my rib cage. The guilt was unbearable. I had thought I was untouchable. I had thought we were invisible, above reproach. But the moment I stepped away from that kingdom, I realized how deeply corrupted I had become. I realized that every dollar I had blocked, every contract I had sabotaged, every debt I had forced onto an innocent person's life had chained me tighter than any rituals ever could. I began to see the mechanic of the work we did in brutal clarity. How the names were collected, how the contracts were assigned, how spiritual agents were dispatched to ensure failure. There were techniques I had mastered that allowed me to enter dreams, influence decisions, and create chaos in ways no human could trace. I had been a ghost thief, a silent predator, and had been proud of it once. But now the pride is gone. I remember the last operation. Something hit me like fire. I could feel a power stronger than mine pushing me back, tearing at my soul. I felt the chains of the kingdom of darkness trying to pull me back, screaming threats I can't even repeat aloud. But I refused. I ran, and I swore that no matter the cost, I would never touch another person's destiny again. Since that night, I had lived in fear and secrecy. People I once harmed are still out there, living their lives, unaware that someone like me once held their future in her hands. I carry their pain every day. I cannot erase it. I will tell you this. Living the kingdom of darkness does not make the guilt disappear. It follows you like a shadow, heavier than any chain, louder than any voice. Every night, I remember the people I attacked. I have spent years trying to make amends in secret, praying for forgiveness, trying to undo the damage where I could. But the truth is, some things cannot be undone. The money taken spiritually may never return. The lost contract, the ruined businesses, the delay, breakthrough, some will never be restored. Yet there is hope now, a hope I never knew when I served darkness. I serve a different kingdom, one that does not steal, one that does not destroy, one that restores and blesses without fear or manipulation. And slowly, I have begun to see restoration in lives around me. People I prayed for suddenly find opportunities, doors open, unexpected blessings appear. I am no longer proud of my past. I am no longer silent about it. I speak because someone must warn those who are marked, those who are being drained without knowing why. Someone must expose the hidden operation, the invisible theft, the spiritual contracts that bind human lives. I am a former witch. I took what is not mine. I caused suffering. I left the kingdom of darkness, and now I serve the kingdom of light. And the message is clear. The power that once took money, broke businesses, and destroyed destinies can be broken. But first, you must see it. You must recognize it, and you must believe it exists. Because if you do not, it will continue. And I have seen too many lives stolen to stay silent any longer. I am Ifunanya from Enugu, and this is my confession. The kingdom of darkness is real. I was inside it. I survived, and now, so can you.